Welcome to Supporting Your Child's Learning when Using Educational Apps. This presentation is funded by the Connecticut Office of Early Childhood through the Governor's Emergency Relief Fund in partnership with New England Assistive Technology, the RESC Alliance, and all our kin. This presentation was created by educational consultants from Learn Regional Educational Service Center and presented by Pamela Santerre, Learn's Coordinator of Educational Technology Integration. In this video, we will discuss how parents and family members can apply the pillars of learning to their child's usage of apps. Did you know that a 2021 study analyzed some of the most downloaded educational apps for kids using a set of 4 criteria designed to evaluate whether an app provides a high-quality educational experience for children? The findings showed that most of the apps scored low, with free apps scoring even lower than their paid counterparts. The results suggest that apps shouldn't replace human interaction, nor do they guarantee learning. So, what makes an app educational rather than merely entertaining? Research shows us that there are 4 principles or pillars that lead to a more effective educational experience: active involvement, engagement, meaningfulness, and social interaction. The science of learning has shown that humans learn best when they are actively involved in the material. Activity can take 2 forms, physical or mental. By active engagement, the authors are referring to not just the physical tapping and swiping that might be part of the experience, but to a minds-on activity that requires intellectual thinking and using information. An arcade-style shooter game, for example, in which a child swipes at a screen to change the direction of a spaceship, does not require active engagement or using information. However, a mapping game that requires a child to swipe a screen to help solve a navigation problem requires greater activity and mental involvement. In order to learn, children need to be able to stay on task, engage with the material, and be free of distractions. Placing to-be-learned information in the context of an app-based story can help children stay engaged with the material. But if the app contains noise, movement, or side games that are unrelated to the learning goal, children will drift off task and the learning process will be disrupted. The science of learning also tells us that information is processed at a deeper level when it meaningfully relates to past knowledge or when it's personally relatable to us. Apps that encourage children to connect new information to their daily lives, for example, by learning about triangles, by taking pictures of triangles they see in their home, those types of apps will provide a more effective learning experience than an app in which children simply pick out of a triangle out of a lineup of different shapes. Finally, an app will be more educationally effective when it allows children to socially interact with others. Apps can encourage social interaction by allowing children to work remotely with others, to draw a picture or solve a puzzle, by having in-app animated characters who respond to a child's choices or speech, or by having the child discuss the material they learned in the app with their parents or their teachers. Not all apps will incorporate all of these 4 pillars, but those that promote active, engaged, meaningful, and socially interactive experiences are more likely to lead to significant learning. Parents shouldn't automatically trust that something marked educational in an app store is actually educational. However, you can leverage the pillars of learning by playing apps with your child. By talking to your child about what is happening while you play, by pointing out what is happening in the real world that relates to something shown or taught in the app. And finally, by carefully choosing apps that minimize distractions. Like the books we choose, the digital media that we provide for our children should serve as mirrors where children see themselves represented, or windows where they can see children from different backgrounds, and perhaps even sliding glass doors that encourage children to walk through and experience a different perspective or a different background. Remember, representation matters. Carefully examine the material you share with your children and avoid media that perpetuates stereotypes. Research shows there is a connection between kids' healthy self-esteem and positive portrayals in the media. One example of an app that provides both a sliding glass door and leverages the 4 pillars of learning is the app Grandma's Great Gourd, which combines a storybook version of an award-winning picture book about a clever grandma with activities and videos that touch on physics, creative expression, and South Asian culture. Let's take a look.
What do you get when you bring together one spunky grandma, 3 hungry animals, and a garden full of giant gourds? Grandma's Great Gourd, a storybook app rich in gameplay, based on a South Asian trickster tale. What's life without a little adventure?
With this app, kids can choose to read the story on their own or be read to. At various points in the book, kids must tap and interact with the illustrations to move the story along. You or your child can also record your own voice narrating the story and providing sound effects. Just as an aside, the wild animals do threaten to eat grandma, so that might be upsetting to more sensitive kids. Families can enjoy the story together in a read to me or read on my own mode. Beyond the story, kids can also learn small tidbits about the Bengali region of South Asia through an in-app informational videos. Topics include wildlife, clothing, food, art, and language. The app also has a grown-up guide for extension activities that you can do with your child. For example, you can talk about what it's like to read a digital book versus a traditional print and paper book. What's different about those 2 experiences? Is one more fun, engaging, or inspiring than the other? What can the digital form do that the paper one can't, and vice versa?